A Kentucky cooking segment brought to you by Creative Kitchen and Bath, where you will always cook in style.
Welcome back to Midday Kentucky. Chef Allison Davis here at the Wild Time Kitchen over in Chinaway, and we are talking all about meal prep and ways to fix healthy, delicious recipes on the fly for families, for kids, kid-friendly, all that good stuff. I'm a mom and I'm a chef, but that doesn't mean that I want to sit at home and slave in the kitchen when I get home. So what we're doing today, and this is something I see all over the internet, it's these little mason jar meals, is what I call them. And we are going to be doing a mason jar lasagna that we can cook and that we can serve or keep in the fridge, but kids love lasagna. But this is a little bit healthier version, and we're going to use some zucchini noodles instead of the pasta noodles, or in this case, zucchini strips, okay? So what I have cooking here, if you can hear it sizzling, wish you could smell it, but we have some ground turkey. Ground turkey is much leaner than ground beef and is still really flavorful, especially when you add some diced onions, which I did, as well as some fresh garlic. We are also going to add in a little bit of Italian seasoning. And all we're doing at this point is just browning this a little bit and cooking our turkey so that it will be all the way cooked through for our mason jar meal. All right, so we're going to keep browning that on a medium to low heat. And I want to talk a little bit about our zucchini noodles. So what I did was I used a mandolin, and we just took the zucchini, I cut the ends off to cut it lengthwise. Be very careful if you're using a mandolin. A mandolin is a great tool, but it is extremely dangerous because it's very sharp. Excuse me. So what I do is I take my hand and I keep it flat and just run it straight down our zucchini, our mandolin, very thin and very flat. That way your fingers are protected. All right? And so what that does is that's going to give us some nice planks of the zucchini strips. Now before we add them into our dish, it's really important to salt them, which I have done here. Salt's going to pull the moisture out, and it's going to allow that to kind of dry out a little bit so that when you have it in your dish, it's not very watery. You've got all the water out of your zucchini. So that's all we're doing here on a paper towel lined sheet. Sprinkle it with salt. Let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes if you can, just to allow it to kind of cool down or to pull that moisture out, and then just pat it dry to get as much out of it as you can. All right, so our turkey's getting cooked up. And then once you have that, it's really a matter of assembly. We cannot forget the cheese when we're talking lasagna. So we have some ricotta cheese and some mozzarella. I picked this up at the grocery store. It was just marinated, fresh mozzarella that will melt beautifully into this dish. And then some Parmesan. All right, so we're going to start with a little bit of just crushed tomatoes. So I just got a can of fresh crushed tomatoes, seasoned it with a little salt, pepper, maybe a little fresh herb. And that's going to go in the bottom of our dish, okay? Then we're going to take one of our little zucchini strips. Depending on the size of your jar, you may need to cut it in half. And then we're just going to start layering our little zucchinis in our bowl. It's already starting to look cute. If you want, what I do, especially when I make a lasagna with our cheeses, I'm going to take some of our ricotta, some of our Parmesan, and then I'm going to take an egg, and I'm going to whisk an egg in with this, and the egg is going to help to bind it, so it's going to help to thicken it in our little jar. All right, so a little bit of egg in there. Whisk that up, and you can just see how that helps to thicken it. Also helps to create and make it a little bit more of a spread. So this is going to be a little easier to layer into that dish. So taking our cheese, I can't forget salt and pepper. Sorry, gang. I just use it all the time and use it in everything. And I've got this Italian seasoning, so I'm going to throw a little bit of that in there too. If you didn't have that, a little fresh parsley would be beautiful as well. So we'll take that cheese mixture, layer that, and then that's pretty much what we're going to do to start our base. And then our turkey should be ready to go here once you get all of that nice pink cooked out of it. We're going to take our turkey, I'll just use this ladle again, take that beautiful ground turkey, layer that in, and then we're just going to keep layering as we go, and then put cheese on top, blister this puppy. But I don't know any family member or any kid that's not going to love this dish. We'll show this to you guys in just a moment, but you can find this recipe and many more at wtbq.com/recipes. You can also find me on Instagram at Chef Allison Davis, and we will be right back after the short break.